Hello everyone and welcome to another top 5 records video. Today I'm going to be talking about Fleetwood Mac, one of the most amazing bands around, and it's hard to pin them down because they go to different places, different genres, and the lineup changes completely. It's tough to say what's the core center of Fleetwood Mac. Nevertheless, I'm going to give a list of the best 5 albums. But to be quite frank, starting with the number 5 spot, I'm gonna do a little cheating. Because I'm gonna put this album, Tango in the Night, on number 5 spot. It's a great album. It's a very poppy 80s album. It's actually a bit weird that this came out of Fleetwood Mac because it sounds so late 80s. But it has some great songs. It has some great hits. Now, I'm putting this in number 5 spot with another album because I know there's a certain controversy with regard to live albums. And I have a very strong sense that I just have to put them in because sometimes a live album contains the essence of a band. Like the Who live at Leeds, you can't make a Who list without live at Leeds. You can't make a Deep Purple list without Made in Japan because those are the best versions of the band. I can't say the same thing about this one, Fleetwood Mac Live. Nevertheless, I love it. I love this live album because this live album, which is the shared number 5 spot, contains a band during a tour, and this album is a compilation of moments from that 1979-1980 tour. And it's so amazing. I mean, they were at the top of what they were doing. They were performing their big hits live. There was so much going on in the band. And this live album feels like a document of that time. It is not Queen live at Wembley or Slade Alive being on their strongest live. But it is an awesome document which tells you more than just the story their studio album tell you, let alone the collection of songs. I mean, Fleetwood Mac is just a band you want to have a live album of. So I put the two of them on a number 5 spot. So if anyone is like, yeah, it's not the greatest live album ever, or whatever, you have Tango in the Night. Number 4, Fleetwood Mac. But this is the second Fleetwood Mac self-titled album. Is that strange? Yeah, it's kind of strange because when Peter Green was in the band, they had a Fleetwood Mac album. It was the first album. But Peter Green left and Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks entered, and this is their first album together. And in a certain way you can say this is a completely different band than the band with Peter Green. So it is the second Fleetwood Mac album, but it's not called Fleetwood Mac 2. Fans refer to it as their White Album. But then again, when I think of the White Album, I think of a completely blank White Album by the Beatles. So it's kind of tough. Nevertheless, this album is awesome. It's a very nice pop rock album. And Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks entering this band, it elevated them. It made a different band out of them. And this is a beautiful album with great songs on it. It's how do you say? It's sort of like Rumours without Rumours being Rumours. Okay, that's probably the worst review ever. Nevertheless, go out, buy this album. It's awesome what they were doing at this time. Often underestimated, and this is the first UK, by the way, sounds amazing. Now, on number 3 spot, some might agree and I would have put the White Album on the number 3 spot, but I really dig this one. Then Play On, because to me this is the ultimate Peter Green Fleetwood Mac album. It has more blues rock elements in there, it has more psychedelic tones in there, and this is something completely different from what the band would become later on with the White Album, with Rumours, with Tango in the Night, with well, some what I'm gonna discuss later on. It's not poppy. This sounds like hippie acid blues, and it has great guitar. It has a roughness to it. It is very much an album of a different era. and of a different band. And although they became so much more successful later, I think we should not forget the sheer quality, the sheer influence, and the sheer guitar work of Then Play On, because this is an awesome album. Number 2 spot. The number 2 spot is an oddity, but an amazing album. It's Tusk. And Tusk is a double LP. And this album has, how do I say, a very bizarre status. It was, at the time it was recorded, they had just had the most amazing response worldwide and most amazing sales with not alone the White Album, but also with Rumours. They were enormous. And everybody expected a Rumours 2 or Rumours 3. And Lindsey Buckingham was in doubt. Where am I taking the band to go from here? Am I going to give that? Am I going to give more of what they already enjoy? Or am I going to reinvent the band? And he was very aware of the changes which were happening in the music scene at the time. For example, new wave bands like Talking Heads, those were the ones he was playing. And he thought, I gotta ride this new wave. What did he do? He listened mostly to not a new wave album, but he found the original master tapes of the Smile sessions by the Beach Boys. And in some regard, this is to Rumours what Smile is to Pet Sounds. Diving into the deep. Songs may not have fully finished. They may be sketches, but nevertheless, a sketch can be a good song. And although this album is very experimental, it is very interesting and it holds your attention. It is something completely new, and they did crazy things. I mean, this album was at the time the most expensive album ever made, about $1 million, which would be about 3.3 million in these days. I mean, it was incredible. This is one of the important experiments in the history of pop rock. Number 2, Tusk. Now, everybody knows what's the number 1. Yeah. And it's awesome. I mean, it's an easy pick on number 1, I know. But whenever you put this on, you just can't slip off the needle. Every song on it is good. Some of the songs which were not hits are nevertheless constantly in your mind. The Chain, for example. The hits are not even the best songs on this album. I mean, it's just a constant rush of good songs. It's tough to understand how can people make a constant stream of good melodies like this. Come up with it, record it, at such a strange moment in their lives, by the way, because people often joke that this was a divorce album because Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks were fighting, and the songs are different sides of a divorce, but they were not the only ones. As a matter of fact, the entire band was divorcing because keyboard player and vocalist Christine McVie and the bass guitarist John McVie called himself the Mac in Fleetwood Mac because he was the bass, the Mac, you know, the boss Mac. They were divorcing, and Mick Fleetwood, did I say it correctly? Mick Fleetwood. He was also in a divorce because his wife was having an affair with his best friend. So everybody involved in here was on the point of breaking up with each other. And nevertheless, that gave some of the best songs of the 70s. I already made a video in regard to the beautiful Kevin Gray, Steve Hoffman pressing on 45 RPM. But I'm going to comment on it again. Best sounding pressing ever. If you come across it, buy it. It is a classic album. You're never gonna find it sounding like this on 45 RPM. Awesome album, and it comes to life more. This album was such a difficult thing to master. I've heard in an interview, and it comes out beautifully, beautifully, beautifully. Now, those are my 5 picks for the best Fleetwood Mac albums. What are yours? Leave a comment below and let's start a discussion. And see you in the next video.